The tribe was filled with screams. The third in command led people into an iron cage and survived for the moment. Thomas and the others also dove into the cornfield but forgot to extinguish their torches, so the monsters easily found them, scaring them into fleeing elsewhere. Heading for the tribe's strongest meeting room, the monster tried to break in, but soon stopped, lowered its head and studied the inside. Seeing many people with weapons, it chose to avoid the fight, slowly crawled onto the roof, found the weakest point, and in everyone's confusion, stabbed its tail straight through the roof, breaking a main beam. The falling wood sent everyone into chaos, and the monster picked them off one by one. Grabbing Chuck, Thomas and the others ran to help, but they only managed to hold it off. Just as the monster raised its stinger, Albie rushed forward with a knife and chopped the stinger clean off, then hacked at its tail like crazy. To their surprise, he actually drove it away, but before they could catch their breath, the monster returned and took Albie away, knowing he wouldn't survive, and realizing Thomas truly cared, he quickly told him, "You have to get everyone out of the maze." Thomas refused to give up, ran outside hoping to save him, but the monsters had vanished. It seemed their only goal had been Albie. Gally lost his temper and punched Thomas, saying everything happened because he trespassed in the maze.
You heard what Albie said? He's one of them! Who? He's one of them, and they sent him here to destroy everything, and now he has!
Thomas had no way to argue. He didn't understand any of it. Looking at the severed stinger, and realizing there was one dose of the antidote left, he wondered if the mastermind wanted him to regain his memories by using Albie as an example. Thinking of this, Thomas grabbed the stinger and stabbed it into his thigh. As his mind turned blurry, fragments of memory flooded back. He and Carrie really were part of the organization, and seemed to be important members. They put everyone in the maze to run an experiment, but the exact purpose wasn't in his memories. Everything seemed predetermined. Then the scene shifted. Thomas jolted awake and found himself and Carrie locked in a dungeon. Gally had stirred panic and seized power. He decided to exile them before sunset. Seeing Thomas unfazed, Miho grew confused, so Thomas told them the truth about the maze, and about his and Carrie's real identities. Why they entered the maze no longer mattered. What mattered was what the experiment was for. They decided to escape as soon as possible. Thomas pretended to be unconscious to make Gally's group drop their guard, but unexpectedly, Gally didn't plan to exile them. He wanted to tie them to stakes and sacrifice them to the monsters for peace. At the last second, Thomas suddenly attacked and took the executioner's weapon. The second in command and Miho immediately joined in. In less than 30 seconds, they took control of the situation. The tribe, which had seemed united, was now split into two factions. Thomas knew Gally was far too stubborn and didn't waste words. He warned everyone, "This is your only chance to get out." Gally tried to regain support, saying Thomas was only scaring them.
Right, I'm scared. But I'd rather risk my life out there than spending the rest of it in here. We don't belong here. Hey, this place isn't our home.
Moved by Thomas's conviction, some people began walking to his side. Seeing only a few followers left, Gally knew he had lost, but still refused to move. Since everyone had their own path, they split up. Thomas led everyone, and after several turns, reached section 7 of the maze. But to his surprise, the monsters that should hide during the day were guarding the bridge exit. The group's passion turned